A civil jury in New York City found former U.S. President Donald Trump civilly liable for sexual abuse and defamation. This is against journalist E Jean Carroll. So after 2 weeks of testimony and just under 3 hours of deliberation, which is super fast, the 6-man, 3-woman jury awarded Carroll $2 million in compensatory damages, $20,000 in punitive damages for sexual battery, $1 million in compensatory damages, and $1.7 million for reputational repair. Oh, and $280,000 in punitive damages for defamation. All totaling about $5 million. Nice. Now, Carroll alleged that Trump had raped her in a dressing room of the Bergdorf Goodman department store in Midtown Manhattan back in 1996, and then defamed her when he denied this accusation. And he made some interesting denials. Never knew her. She's not my type. The jury, again, decided that he was guilty of sexual abuse and defamation, but did not conclude definitively that Trump had indeed raped Ms. Carroll. Nonetheless, the sexual abuse is pretty damning. Among the evidence presented to the jury was a recorded deposition in which Trump argued that famous people, that sexual assault by famous people, well, happens all the time. What's the big deal? Historically, that's true with stars. Well, if you look over the past million years, that's been largely true. Not always, but that has been largely true, Trump said when asked about his grab him by the P word. Let's just have Ben Shapiro take over this one.
Wet ass P word.
Yep, grab him by that. Okay. When you're a star, you can do anything, he said. He was then asked if he considers himself to be a star, and of course his answer was yes. When that was played, legal experts that were in the courtroom described total silence as the jurors watched the video. Lisa Rubin, MSNBC's legal analyst, said you could hear a pin drop. Yeah. Again, there he is basically admitting, oh, well, if you're a star, well, they let you do it. And I'm a star, so obviously they let me do it. Well, I mean, there you go. Apparently, according to legal experts, the video of that deposition was so damaging that may have been what decided the case here and what made this decision so easy to make. Now, Carroll's testimony, of course, was also incredibly strong. She, along with 2 of her friends, told jurors that she reported the alleged attack to them in the moments, day afterward. Jurors also heard from other victims of Trump, Jessica Leeds, a former stockbroker, who testified that Trump had abruptly groped her against her will on an airplane in the 1970s. And from Natasha Stoyanov, a writer who said Trump forcibly kissed her against her will while she was interviewing him for a 2005 article. And again, he's got over 20 allegations against him. So this is a pattern. It's a very clear pattern. And oh, look, they got him on it. They got him. Now, that said, Donald Trump did fly into a rage when it came to posting on Truth Social. I have absolutely no idea who this woman is. This verdict is a disgrace. A continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time. Really? Really? He had no idea who this woman is. Let me show you a little bit of video here from the deposition.
I don't even know who the woman. Let's see. I don't know who. It's Marla.
You're saying Marla's in this photo?
That's Marla. Yeah, that's my wife.
Which woman are you pointing to?
No, that's
Here.
Carroll.
Oh, is that?
The person you just pointed to was
I
E Jean
see.
Carroll.
Who is that? Who is
First
this?
point, your wife.
And the woman on the right is your then wife,
I don't know.
Ivana?
This was the picture.
Ivana.
I assume that's John Johnson. Is that
That's Carroll.
Carol? Because it's very blurry.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. That's not my wife. It was blurry. Yeah, that's what it was. It was blurry. It's very blurry. Wow. So now another fun fact about this. His defense, as I mentioned before, well, E Jean Carroll's not my type. Not your type to sexually assault. Not your type. Not your type? Wow. And apparently, again, didn't know who she was. Thought she was Marley Maples. Had them both very, very confused. But wait, you married Marla Maples, so she would be your type. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, his lawyer, Joe Tacopina, went after the verdict, calling it, quote, unquote, strange. Obviously, Trump is firm in his belief, as many people are, that he cannot get a fair trial in New York City, based on the jury pool. And I think one could argue, and that's probably an accurate assessment, based on what happened today, Tacopina said during a press conference outside the courthouse. Well, to be fair, in Donald Trump's mind, he would never get a fair trial anywhere, save for a MAGA rally. Well, that's because he surrounds himself with fans and sycophants. They don't care. And by the way, they're probably going to still, vote for him in the Republican primary, because this doesn't matter to them. This is not going to move the needle away from Trump whatsoever. In fact, if anything, it'll probably, show a bump in Republican support towards Trump. This is even after former Trump staffers, had said that he had a pattern of behaving inappropriately with women in the White House. One of them, Alyssa Farah Griffin, told CNN, quote, "I have countless cases of what I considered impropriety in the White House that I brought to the chief of staff because I thought the way he engaged with women was dangerous." Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the overall point. He is dangerous. He's a predator, a sexual predator. Believes he's entitled to other people's bodies. And so, look, without the politics, though, because again, we're not going to talk about, is this going to affect his election? Is it going to affect his primary? Whatever. No, this is a big moment for victims of sexual violence. And that's the overall good point of this. That's what we wanted to see. Just that there's some sort of accountability, some sort of justice towards someone who is a predator. In this case, a convicted predator. Now, the women's rights group Ultraviolet tweeted this, and I think they're spot on here. "We're grateful to E Jean Carroll for sharing her truth. We're in solidarity with her and survivors of sexual violence. We know that sexual violence and rape culture is all around us, often perpetuated or carried out by those in positions of power." Fame. E Jean Carroll is one of the over 20 women that have come forward with stories of sexual assault by Donald Trump. Now, they also had scathing words for CNN. Now, CNN, if you didn't know, they're planning a Trump town hall. Why? One can only know. But Ultraviolet thinks, it's about ratings, of course. Quote, "When media outlets like CNN give Trump a platform, they do a disservice to all their viewers. Contrary to the network's excuses, hosting a town hall with Trump isn't about hearing both sides. It's a brazen ploy to seize ratings." And I have to agree. 100%. Look, at the end of the day, it's pretty clear Donald Trump is a sexual abuser. Simple as that. He's got this lifelong pattern of entitlement. And that's just who he is. And it doesn't just apply to how he feels about women, but it also applies to how he feels about power and money. Thinks he's entitled to all of it, and that he's entitled to run this country.